Before we create our first action, we're going to create a package for it. We begin by specifying a new Gradle source set for Kotlin, and then create the main package for our plugin. Once we've done that, we can finally create our actions package, which we will call actions. Inside the new package, we're going to create a new class called Hello World Action. In order to implement an action, we need to extend from an action and implement the action perform method. This method receives a parameter called an action event, from where you can get the project where the action happened. To create a new notification, we begin by creating a notification group. First, we need to specify a display ID. Also, we need a display type, which in this case, we're going for a balloon notification. And finally, we need to say if we want our notification to be shown in the event log by default or not. Once our notification group has been created, we can finally create a new notification. This notification is a title, content, a type, which can be information, warning, or error, and also a listener. A listener is very handy if your notification includes an action. Our notification doesn't, so we will set this as a null. And finally, we need to notify the project where the action was triggered to show the notification. With the notification created, it's time to declare it in the plugin XML file. Here, we already have a dedicated section where we can include our actions. Our first step is to create a group for our action. Groups organize action into logic UI structures. Inside this new group, we add our action and specify the class that will run when the action is used. We can also give our action a shortcut and specify a key map. The final step is to add our group to an existing group. In this case, we're adding it to the main menu of Android Studio and setting the anchor as last, so it will show as the last option in the main menu. We can now run our plugin and you will see that there is a new option in the main menu that contains our action. We can click on the action or use the shortcut that we created to display the notification, which will also show in the event log. Let's go back to the plugin XML file to have a second look at groups, because groups can be quite complex and powerful. They can contain other groups and either form a toolbar or a menu. Also, subgroups of a group can form submenus of a menu. Furthermore, actions can also be included in multiple groups. Let's see some examples. First, I'm going to copy our action and give it a different ID, effectively creating a new action that will show the same notification. I'm declaring this action out of any groups, but I'm putting it at the top to make it visible for the groups below. Now, I can add a reference to the new action inside the group, and I can even add a separator between both actions if I want to. Now, I'm going to create a second group. In this case, I'm setting the pop-up attribute to true, because I want this group to be a pop-up type. Now, I'm going to add this group to our first group and selecting first as the anchor, so this is the first thing that will be shown. Finally, I reuse the action we have just created and add a reference to it here. So this new action will be shown in two different places. Let's have a look at what happens when we run our plugin. Now, the My New Plugin menu has a pop-up submenu called My Second Group, which has our second action in it. Below this subgroup, we also have our second action followed by a separator and finally the first action that we created.